Earlier in Chapter 3, it was explained that qualitative studies are often carried out to better understand the nature of a problem. Extensive interviews with many people might have to be undertaken to get a handle on the situation and understand the phenomenon. When the data reveals some pattern regarding the phenomenon of interest, theories are developed and hypotheses formulated. Other methods, such as an experimental method, for instance, are subsequently used to test this hypothesis. Along these lines, combinations of qualitative and quantitative methods are used in many studies, and that is the mixed methods. Methods aims to answer research questions that cannot be answered by qualitative or quantitative approaches alone. It focuses on collecting, analyzing, and mixing both quantitative and qualitative data in a single study or series of studies. The attractiveness of this approach is that it allows the researchers to combine inductive and deductive thinking to use more than one research method to address the research problem and to solve this problem using different types of data. On the other hand, a mixed methods approach complicates the research design and therefore requires clear presentation to allow the reader to sort out its different components. Example: Henry Mansberg interviewed managers to explore the nature of managerial work. Based on the analysis of his interview data, he formulated theories of managerial rules, the nature and types of managerial activities, and so on. These have been tested in different settings through both interviews and questionnaire surveys. Triangulation is a technique that is also often associated with using methods. The idea behind triangulation is that one can be more confident in a result if the use of different methods or sources leads to the same results. Triangulation is also a method used to increase the credibility and the validity of the research findings. Triangulation requires that research is addressed from multiple perspectives. So we have the several kinds of triangulation. First is the method triangulation, using multiple methods of data collection and analysis. For example, to validate the results of their study, a researcher uses different methods of data collection. They use face-to-face interviews as qualitative source. Then they conduct phone surveys with different groups of people with which are quantitative data. Using both methods prevents the researcher from incorporating research bias. Next is the data triangulation. Uh, is where the data collected from several sources and or at different time periods. Example: to understand sleep patterns in college students, you compile data from 15 universities in California. Using data triangulation, you also obtain data from 15 universities in Texas and 15 universities in New York. By gathering data from three locations, you gain a deeper understanding of how sleep patterns vary among college students across the country. The third one is the researcher triangulation. Multiple researchers collect and or analyze the data. Several researchers collect data independently on the same phenomenon and compare their findings. The last one is the theory triangulation. Multiple theories and or perspectives are used to interpret and explain the data. For example, a researcher uses two different psychological theories to explain the same phenomenon, such as competitive and cooperative behavior in dogs. While one theory predicts that dogs may compete against their owners for desirable food, the other theory predicts that dogs may cooperate with their owners when they're competing desirable food. By comparing these two theories, the researcher strengthens both theories and removes any gaps between them that may prevent a complete explanation of the phenomenon.